Hi everyone! I had planned on going live for you all at 3, which is like half an hour from now, but instead I've decided I'm gonna record this for you and post it at 3 because it is going to rain and I really want to show you my life here in Bali and tell you exactly how I manifested it. Now, if you see, I'm here at the house where we actually live, where we sleep. There's only one neighbor that we have, a small boutique hotel, and this is our garden down there, and it has this amazing jungle view. And here you can already see my other house, which is my office, and that's where we're gonna go now. And here is my dog. This is Raja. Say hi, Raja. Hi, baby. She's my puppy. She's a rescue. I rescued her 5 months ago now. So she was born 9 months ago, exactly the time when Lou and I moved here to Bali. So now we're going to the other house, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like there. This is our beautiful, beautiful garden with all the crazy holes that my dog has been digging. She's a little rascal when it comes to that. And here we go to the other house. This is the jungle path. I've just had them clear it, so it looks a little less crazy than usually, but still quite crazy. It's a huge gorge that goes down like 200 meters from here. There's a vantage point over there on the road where you can see it. And yeah, this is our own little wilderness. And here we have the coolest animal encounters. Like you see frogs, you see lizards, you see huge birds. There's one that I love, which has like golden wings and it's like dark blue. It's incredible. And of course huge geckos and all kinds of amazing creatures. And up there is the road, which is really cool. We're in the middle of the jungle, but we still have access. And this is the door to my office, like my other house, which I call the pool house because it has the pool. Come, Racha. Come, girl. And here we have arrived. I'm gonna close this door. And here we are in the second house. As you can see, it's gonna rain soon. Rainy season has started here. I can already feel the first drops. So this is the pool house. This is the amazing garden with my pool. And I just love it here so much. I can't even tell you how much I love this place. Now let's go inside. I totally did not clean up at all for making this video. So it might look a bit crazy. They've renovated it for me recently because this house, the other one is brand new, but this house is quite old. So I had like unwelcome visitors like lizards and rats and stuff like that inside, which was just not the coolest thing ever. So let's turn on the lights here. They made it all brand new. This is my outdoor bathroom here, which is quite nice. And here is my healing room, which I love exactly like it is, like a lot of nothingness. Here's my little altar, here's a little table. Usually I put my yoga mat here, and I have the most incredible view. Oh, here you see Raja, my doggy, and here is the best view ever. And yeah, I love it in here. So this is also where I do private healing sessions, in-person healing sessions with those who are here in Bali. And this is my office, and it is still pretty naked after the renovation. They made all of these new ceilings in here, and I'm having a couch made that will go here. And here is the porch, and with the amazing view to the pool. And I'm just gonna sit down here and tell you how I manifested this crazy life, and most importantly, like where I started from, because that's gonna really show you what's possible for you as well. So what you must know about me, like, I'm Austrian. I come from a typical middle-class family. I was not born rich. All of everything that I have right now is like, self-made, So it is really possible for you as well. I started my business without any money on the side, without any financial support, as a single mom. And my son was just a baby. So you can too. You absolutely can too. Let me just check my notes here on what exactly I wanted to tell you. So Yeah, background info. I started my business. I started my business in 2017, actually, when I was pregnant with my son Lou. And at that time, it was just an awful situation. I had been in India, where I did my yoga teacher training, and I wanted to become a writer. And then, Spirit started talking to me. No, you're a healer. You're gonna meet your first teacher. I met my first shamanic teacher. I started training. Then I got pregnant very unexpectedly, and my partner of the past 3 years left because he didn't want to be a father. So I had to go back to Austria. I was very ill physically from all the stress, and I had nothing. I literally had nothing. I didn't have a home anymore. I didn't have a job anymore, no income, and I was pregnant. So I stayed with a friend, and I started a shamanic apprenticeship, which was 1.5 years long. And I started to create shamanic yoga out of a necessity that I saw, because this was a group program that I was doing, and many women found it really hard that were also in the program to learn shamanic journeying. And I realized why, and why it was so easy for me was because of my background in yoga. Because at that time I had already been an avid yogini for, let me think, now it is 12 years. So back then it was 7 years already. And I realized that I had been working so much with my body and my mind that I could just more easily access the heart and soul levels that you work with in shamanism. And so I created shamanic yoga. I combined the wisdom of the two. And I started testing it all out at a yoga studio in Vienna that I was working at. I started working there 2 months after my son was born because I needed the money. So late 2016. And it was such a huge success that I knew I had to take it online, to make it accessible to more people. And and then in 2017, I just had to get away. It was so awful. Lou's dad had finally decided to want to be a part of the whole thing, but he was just super destructive, and I couldn't be around him anymore. I didn't want Lou to be around him. So I took him away. I took him to Thailand. He was 7 months old. I went on a backpacking trip for 2 months with my son. And how I was affording it is I rented out my apartment in Vienna for the time that I was gone, and I actually made money from that because I didn't need that much money for traveling. And it was really an amazing trip, like even a life-saving trip. And and I even worked on my business during that time. And and after that I moved to Findhorn, to the Ika village and intentional community in Scotland, in the Highlands. And one of my best friends was already living there, who is Lou's godmother. And there I started to teach a transformation, which is my 10-week process that teaches, it's like the core shamanic yoga process that teaches shamanic journeying through the combination with yoga, step by step in 10 weeks. And it was just crazy successful. So I knew I needed to teach that online as well. And it was just incredible. It worked so well for the clients I had, but I only had really few of them. So I realized I needed help, and I finally realized that my thinking had been wrong all along. I was like, okay, I can't afford a business coach, right? But then I realized, no, I can't afford not to have a business coach, because I knew I was going to struggle forever. And so I took a loan. I borrowed money from my grandpa, which was amazing. And I started business coaching, and I found like a really nice and really affordable coach. And it turned out she gave me all the wrong advice. So I started all wrong, and I kept struggling because I started with group programs, which is just really not the way to go about things when you're not well known yet. And then in 2019, I invested in a really expensive coaching program with like the opposite type of coach. It's like a team of coaches, like super hardcore sellers. And I didn't really like them at all, but they showed me what I had been missing so far, which was that I needed to find out who my ideal client actually was. I couldn't just keep wanting to help everybody, because then you end up helping nobody. And they also showed me that I really needed to work one-on-one with people in the beginning instead of doing group programs to get my business to being profitable fast and also to become an expert. And so I did. And by the end of 2019, I really had a successful healing business. after 3 years of struggling, right? And there and then I decided to expand the transformation, my 10-week program, and add shamanic training to it, because all the women who had gone through the transformation already, they were like, yeah, what's the next step? I want to learn how to do this incredible stuff for other people as well. And I wanted to also add business coaching to it, because what's the point of being a great healer if you don't know how to sell your services, if you don't actually know how to help people with that, right? Because it's always after a sale that you actually get to help people the most, because you can never help someone really with freebies. You need the time, you need the energy for them, you really need to be committed to them, you need to be invested in them, and they need to be invested in themselves. They need to invest in themselves by making a commitment to themselves in the form of payment. That's how that's why it's an energy exchange, right? That's how it works. So so I really wanted to combine a heartfelt, a soulful approach to business, which is not what I had studied, but I wanted to combine it with the really good, practical, solid coaching that I had received as well. And then I started to do that, and the first round of the apprenticeship started in February of 2020, and there were already 8 people signing up for it at that point, although, I didn't use ads yet or nothing like that. And that was right after my first trip to Bali that I started started doing that program. And then I kept on launching the program for the rest of 2020, and I made over 6 figures that year, right? And I was still in Austria though at that point. And, although I had all the money now, I still didn't feel like I had any freedom at all, because I knew that I wanted just so much more nature and community, and I wanted a different climate. And what society is like in Europe, in the US, it is so confining, so restrictive, and I just really wanted to get out of there. And I dreamed of moving to Bali and to create, the really magical life that I wanted for myself and my son. And I have that now. You've seen where we live. It's just incredible. And now I want to walk you through my work week, what that actually looks like. So I only work on 4 days a week. I work Saturday. So Saturdays and Sundays I spend with my son. My weekend is family time. Mondays I get to go deep with myself. So Monday mornings I usually do a longer yoga practice followed by a longer shamanic journey. And then in the afternoon I do a pleasure practice. This is something that I teach my apprentices as well. It's something that I really enjoy, like singing or dancing, or I go to acro yoga, stuff like that. And and sometimes I also go to the spa, but I usually do that Saturday mornings when I'm not doing a longer weekend trip with my son. I usually go to the spa Saturday mornings when my son is with the nanny a lot. And Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays I work from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30. Then I have lunch, and then I take a nap. I take a nap every single day. I really need that when it gets hot here. And then I work again from 2:30 to 3:30. So 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. And then my son comes home from school at 3:30, and then we usually just jump in the pool first thing. And often we paint together, we draw together. It's something that we love doing at the moment. We also often go for long walks with our puppy. We play hide and seek, we do lots of fun stuff. He also loves to go to the spa with me to take fruit baths. They're just amazing. They put dragon fruits and apples and limes into the bathtub, and my son is just eating it out of the bathtub. It's so fun. And on Tuesdays I also work in the afternoons from 4 to 5:30 p.m. That's the only day I work in the afternoons. And then there's 1 day a week where I also work in the evenings, when I hold rituals for my apprentices, for example. So altogether I work about 20 hours a week, sometimes less when there's a public holiday or something here in Bali, and there's many of those. And then my assistants take over for me, and sometimes I work a little bit more, when I'm doing a bigger launch, or I'm holding I'm doing one of my courses live. But I never work more than 25 hours a week. That's really my maximum. And, what I do when I work is I create and hold sessions for my apprentices and one-on-one clients. I write posts and emails, and I do some admin and bookkeeping stuff, but only the most necessary things, because I also have a personal assistant and I have an accountant as well. And of course, I spend a lot of time with my apprentices inside of our private group, just answering their questions, being there for them, just witnessing their sharings and replying. And and I have an amazing staff of people now, which is just incredible. So I have a cleaner who comes 3 times a week and cleans both of the houses. And I have a driver who works for me daily. He drives my son to school and back, because his school is like 25 minutes from our house. So I can get started with my self-care and with my work in the mornings. And he also drives us around for when I do shopping and stuff like that, or for excursions. What else? I have a cook. That's his wife, actually, my driver's wife, and she makes like one meal a day for me, either lunch or dinner, and the other I cook myself because I love cooking. My food is still the best, but she's also amazing. She makes cool Balinese stuff for us. And I have a nanny, and she spends one afternoon a week with Lou. She spends often Saturday mornings with him, and I have her on call like 24/7. I pay her enough so that she doesn't need to take on any other clients, which is amazing. So she basically works only 10 hours a week, but earns a full salary, and can her whole family lives from the money that I give her, which are 6 people. So it's quite cool. And who else is on my staff? I already said bookkeeper, personal assistant, two business assistants, driver, nanny, cleaner, cook. That's it. That's 8 of them, which is pretty amazing. I'm really, really blessed. Yeah, so what do I do with my free time, which is a lot, right? Well, I read, I do shamanic journeys, I do my yoga, I take naps, I swim in the pool, I take my dog for walks in the jungle, I volunteer at a children's home, I meet friends, I take singing lessons, I go to, like I said before, acro yoga or dance classes or other interesting workshops or concerts. I spend time with my son on the weekends. We usually go on excursions, like last week to the Elephant Lodge, which was just incredible. I'm going to post some pictures about that as well. Last month we went to Amed, which is our favorite beach, where I love going snorkeling. We discover lots of different places around here in Bali as well. And it's my dream life. So how did I manifest all of that? Well, I started to live the dream before I was actually there. Manifestation just totally doesn't happen when you hope and you pray and you complain and you strategize. Often not even when you work your butt off, right? It works when you get into alignment with what it is that you want, because you attract what you are. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So you have to become that version of yourself that is able to live that kind of life. So while I worked hard in 2020, I'm not saying that, it's gonna magically fall into place. Yes, there's work involved for sure. You have to roll up your sleeves. You have to be willing to do the work. But I also did something else, right? I did all the alignment, all the vibrational work, right? The energy work. So the first step is I found out exactly what I wanted. Yeah. I knew I wanted to live in Bali. I knew I wanted to have a housekeeper, a driver, a nanny, assistant. I knew I wanted to focus on teaching my apprentices, the women who really want to change the world with their healing power, one person at a time. I knew I wanted much more ease and relaxation and joy. I knew I wanted to be surrounded by nature and by beauty and a loving spiritual community. I knew I wanted a cat and a pool and a big garden in the jungle. I wanted to live close by the beach. And I wanted to be free to participate in lots of amazing events with great people. And I wanted to get massages every week and to pamper myself at the spa. That's what I wanted. That's the lifestyle that I wanted. And I pictured that life really clearly. And you need to do the same, right? You need to actually get clear on what you want. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day. And, well, of course, you're going to manifest more of the same if you don't focus on what you actually want. So, think about all of these questions. How many hours a week do you want to work? How much money do you want to make? How many clients do you want to serve on a high level? And what kind of work do you want to do with them? who is your ideal client? Who do you most love working with? Who can you best serve? And how do you want to feel while you work? And what else is part of your lifestyle? Okay, what is this money? And setting your own hours, making your own decision, what's that going to make possible for you? Okay, so get really clear on that as a first step. And the next step is, like I said, you have to get into alignment with it. Okay, what I did was I shattered the illusion that I can't have what I wanted now, right? You have to stop postponing it to the future. You have to start living it now. So what I did when I was still in Austria, right? I hired my first assistant, Barbie, before I knew I even would be able to pay her month after month, right? And I was transparent about that with her. I was saying to her, my business is going to take off. I feel it. I have everything necessary, but I do need an assistant. I can't do it without one. And she was willing to take the risk, and it was totally worth it because we started making a lot of money from like the first month I hired her, which was just really amazing. I also found a massage therapist who was willing to come to my home for massages, which was possible even during COVID, like twice a month. And I also hired a nanny who also cleaned to make sure that I had support with that at least once a week. And yes, that was expensive, right? But it did make me sweat slightly, But I also knew that I needed that help. I needed that support if I wanted to focus more on my business, have more time and energy for it. And I also knew that, I wanted to obviously have much more luxury and help in the future. So how was I going to start to embody that if I didn't at least make it possible for me to start somewhere, right? So I knew I had to get out of my comfort zone and start living the life that I wanted right now and get into that vibe. What would it feel like to be that woman who has that kind of support and luxury, right? And I did. I did that, and it was amazing, and things really started to shift for me. I felt like, I felt like I was back in the driver's seat. I felt like, the power was in my hands. And I even decorated my healing room like with palm tree wallpaper to make it more like the jungle that I was manifesting. I got like, no, Raja, no, it's not for biting. Raja wants to like bite my Buddha candle thing. No, don't do that. So funny. I bought 12 orchids, because they grow in the jungle, and I have them now growing in the garden wild. And I even bought like a blow-up bathtub because I didn't have one in my apartment to recreate the luxury of a spa or a pool, as need be. And as I came into energetic alignment with what I wanted, I manifested it piece by piece. That's how it works. So step 1, get clarity on what you actually want. Step 2, get into alignment with that. Step 3, get support. Okay. If your intention is to become a powerful healer with a successful business so that you can help tons of people in life-changing ways and at the same time live, the life of your dreams, then you have to step up and start living that life now. You will need to take your self-care and your self-healing to the next level. Okay, you will need to learn how to prioritize yourself so that you can serve from your overflow and just feel so good about yourself. And you will need training to teach you how to help others heal at the soul level, because that's the deepest help that you can give them. That's the help that they actually want to come to you for, so that you feel confident as well in the help that you give them. And you will also need business coaching. Okay, you will need someone to not just teach you strategy, but to help you realize what your soul's mission is, why you came here in the first place, and how to translate that into a profitable business that will change lives. Okay? And you will need support with all of it. This is not creating like an exceptional life and business is not a one-woman show. It really isn't. You need support. And I'm making it super, super easy for you. The Shamanic Yoga Apprenticeship is open again. Pre-sale is still on until tomorrow only. So if you join us before November 20th, you receive Shamanic Chakra Healing for Abundance for free. It's a 7-week intensive that I'm going to start teaching in January, and I sell it for 777 euros. Okay, you get it for free if you join us before tomorrow, before the end of tomorrow. So to find out more about the apprenticeship and to book a chat with me, click the link that I'm going to put in the description for you. And this round is with approval only. I want to make sure that this is the right fit for you, that you're going to get out of it the miraculous results that I really want for you, so that you can really like manifest a whole new level of purpose, power, and prosperity in your life. So let's have a chat. Let's see. I've cleared my calendar. And if you're not even sure yet that shamanism is your calling, if you want to find out more about it first, then let me know in the comments below. I have another training on that I can tag you in, which is going to make it crystal clear if shamanism is your path. That was it, lovelies. I would love to hear anything that you want to share with me in response to what I've been sharing. Let me know if you have any questions, and I would love to see you on a one-on-one chat really soon and to welcome many of you into the apprenticeship. Mwah. Lots of love to you, and bye for now.